Good morning from beautiful northern Wyoming. It was a little over 40 degrees at my house with a little bit of wind, but here just a few miles away it's 25 degrees and just a slight wind. We've got these Chinook winds that come off the Bighorn Mountains and they warm it up the way it compresses air. There's some kind of science going on there, but they start at the mountains and work their way gradually away from the mountains throughout the day. So the closer you are to the mountains, the earlier in the day it gets warm and the more wind you've got. This is out beyond that, which is probably good. The wind would be nice for Clyde, but the warmth wouldn't. The wind would also be helpful for the dog, but there might be enough this morning for the dog. But I'm going to look through this spot here. I've got the wind. I've already checked the wind. It's to my back. So I'm going to drive through this, watch, see if I spot some grouse. If not, turn around and run the dog out. I had to work the last week. I haven't been out at all. I was out of town actually. It looks like the snow's pretty similar to when I left. It was pretty cold. In fact, it was real cold on Monday when I left. It was minus 39 Fahrenheit. Actually, minus 40 Fahrenheit, minus 40 Celsius, the same number, but yeah, it's pretty darn chilly. So the first part of the week while I was gone, it was real cold here at home. So it obviously wasn't melting any. In the latter part of the week, I think it got a little bit warmer, but it doesn't look like it melted much. It's supposed to get up to close to 50 today, so it'll definitely do some melting. And then we got a chance of snow moving back in a few days. Yeah, it looks like there's a fair bit of snow here still. Probably too much for the grouse to be here. They prefer a little less snow to be out in the grass. So they're probably going to be in the brush still, which is unfortunate because when they're here it's a much better slip. I'm not even going to bother putting the dog out because there's not enough grass sticking up amongst the snow to really hide the grouse. If they were here, I'd just be able to see them, which generally means they're not going to be here because they don't like being quite that exposed. They like to be able to hide from predators. But I think I'll go over here, take a peek at these trees to see if they're in the trees just for grins. I'm not going to fly it if they are. Usually flying them when they're sitting in the trees doesn't work real well. Sometimes it does. It's kind of site specific. And if it doesn't work in one site, it's probably never going to work in that same site, in the same situation, especially with the same group of grouse. And so I tried that before I left once in that spot, just for grins, and it didn't work. They just boogered off as soon as they saw Clyde fly. So I would expect the same result today. But we'll go give it a look just to see if that's where they're at. Well, I don't see them up on the trees budding. It's possible they're down in the brush underneath it. Go up, the wind would be in my back, so I don't run the dog here, but I can kind of go up to the end and get the wind a little bit better for the dog. Astro. Oh, the grouse were not there. They were not over in the grass on the flat. Still a little too much snow for that. They weren't in that stretch of trees. And it seems when they're not in those two spots, I haven't been able to find them this year. And I think it's probably because they're up farther to the east on this other property I don't have permission on. And so I say there's a good chance they're probably there. I gotta decide if I want to continue to work this field for other grouse or huns or go somewhere else. I got a little bit of a late start this morning because just disorganized from being gone a week and all that kind of stuff. And it's sunny, so I definitely don't want to push things long. I would like to get a slip though on game. I do have pigeons with me in case I don't find anything. I'm not quite ready to fly the pigeons yet. Maybe I should, in case it's almost 9 o'clock and it's sunny. There's going to be some thermal activity today. Definitely don't want to do pigeons late in the morning, strong pigeons anyway. I'd likely take them away far. Decisions. There is a place just right over here on the other side of this pond that earlier in the season the grouse like to hang out in. There's probably a little too much snow for them to be there now, but it might not be. There's some sage to cover. There's a chance they might be up there. It's about impossible to run a dog on without a lot of work because the prevailing wind comes from the pond side, which is just to my right here. And there's no way to drive up there. You'd have to walk a real roundabout way with the dog and the bird and put it on your fist. It's all would just be logistically difficult. So when I've done, what I think I'm going to do this morning is when I'm out of options and it's getting late in the morning, I just want to get them flown. I take some pigeons with me and I take the dog and we head into it from the upwind side, which obviously isn't great for the dog, but I put the bird up and just fly it on spec. Work this one little area, just like maybe a 10-acre area that's their favorite spot, so the dog can easily work that while the bird's in the air. And if there's nothing coming out real quick, I toss the pigeons. And it's a decent spot to toss pigeons. So I think that's my plan. The lateness of the morning and the fact that the grouse weren't those other two places, this is the only other place they've commonly been within this area that I've got permission on this year. And it's a great slip when they are there. Curious, there's tracks in here that are not mine, different tire tread, and I haven't been up here since we got a snow recently. Usually don't see any activity out here this time of year. All the other hunting seasons are closed. It's February, and the ranch doesn't have cows out here this time of year, so they're usually not out here. Yeah, they went down through that bottom and up the other side. Huh, curious, wonder what they were doing. Nice to know you can get through that bottom. That's where I got stuck about a month ago. So that snow down there that was deep must have thinned out enough. The person doesn't have a more capable four-wheel drive than mine because they were dragging bottom here. They definitely have less ground clearance than me. Okay, I'm gonna get right up here, grab my pigeons, run the dog. Hope you get lucky. I don't have a outside thermometer on my truck, but it definitely feels warmer than 25 now. When I passed one of the signs in the town I just went through before coming here, it said 25. But it definitely feels warmer. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm getting this done now and not pushing it longer. Go ahead and let Astro out and we'll get moving out in that direction. It's definitely the nice, warm, comfy weather that Clyde doesn't like to fly in. He likes it nasty. And there he goes. Where did Clyde go? There he is. Well, if they're going to be here, we're going to find him in the next minute. I'm thinking there's still a little too much snow here for him. Find him! Not seeing any tracks, signs of activity. Get out, Mr. Pigeon. See how persistent Clyde's gonna be? Not at all. Yeah, I know you found the pigeons. Astro knows when we're tossing pigeons, he points to me. Up! 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 He was gonna go land. You know what? We're not gonna do a second pigeon because he's not gonna go back up. Up! Yep. He was thinking about landing on the truck there. Skipping a whole week gives everybody a rest, but it gets everybody out of the routine. Give him a little bit of exercise today, but not extreme amount. So the grouse haven't been up on this hill at all since the last snow. There's absolutely no tracks. Not a huge surprise. Okay, I don't want to get close to the fence or into that deep snow. whenever I'm out of town. I drive a school bus for a living, and I do the longer activity trips, which in Wyoming are long, hundreds of miles, you know, just for a basketball game kind of thing. And a lot of overnight trips. This one was 8th graders to a science school over in Jackson for a week. But whenever I'm gone, my wife takes care of my birds for me. She's not a falconer, but I've got her trained well, and she's much greater than I deserve as a spouse because she's wonderful. She weighs them every day, portions out food, has them right at the right weight when I get back. It's all good. Surprisingly, Clyde was a little light the last day I flew him, and I fed him a normal ration, but he was even lighter the next day, which sometimes happens. So she fed him a bigger ration, and I would have not fed him that much because I would have thought without flying he would have gained weight on it, but he actually lost. And so she kept getting him up. He was eating, 4.5 ounces just sitting, which is a huge amount of food for a bird to sit, and barely gaining any weight. He finally got back up to where I wanted him. He was right on today, right at 40 ounces. So she had him perfect. It was kind of bizarre that he needed that much food to maintain himself. These quail wouldn't feed, and they're nice low fat content. I like them. So maybe they're just enough leaner that it's making a difference. Sometimes Clyde's weight though is a mystery. All variables exactly the same, and his weight will come out different. He's the hardest bird. 90% of the time it's very predictable, but most birds it's 100% of the time I can be right on. There's times I'll get him out and weigh him and he's totally not what I expected. Something with his metabolism, something, I think his gyr thing, and barometric pressure changes and all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know. So the pigeon go. Astro! Come on, kennel up, buddy. Help if I take his transmitters off. I'm kind of out of the routine as well. During the hawking season, this is the only time I go an entire week without flying them. I go 2 days frequently, sometimes even 3 when I have some longer activity trips like state basketball and things like that. But a whole week, pretty much never. Let's look quick at his data. I don't think it was anything spectacular. Okay. 224 feet. And 2.1 total miles. I didn't want to stoop him too long. 224, nothing special. It's kind of warm, heavy air, doing nothing. That's a decent pitch for him considering the weather. Oh, it's warm enough. I had to peel my coat off. It's gonna really settle the snow today. It won't get rid of it all going up to 50, but it'll sure settle it and it'll be a lot less thick. Get a little wind and some weather moving in, that'll motivate Clyde a little bit more. Have some better flights, but the season is winding down. It is February, and I don't have a lot of season left. It only goes to the end of February in Wyoming. It goes to the end of March in Montana, and I'm close to the border, and some years I'll press on through March or into March, just on the Montana side, obviously, but I don't think I'm going to do that this year for a number of reasons. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching.